The Southern Poverty Law Center has been at the heart of a lot of comments lately, especially considering that they took federal tax dollars for a lot of their radical agenda. They have listed groups that have no reason being considered to be radical or even associated with hate groups, but they constantly list groups as being hate groups that really aren't. You know, when you're comparing mothers concerned about their kids' education, when you're concerned about Turning Point USA, which is fairly benign group that's just pushing conservative agenda, or you go after Catholics just wanting to be ultra conservative, that is not hate groups. Well, this clip that I'm about to show you, Jim Jordan and a gentleman by the name of Tyler O'Neill talk about how the Southern Poverty Law Center took federal tax dollars and was using their voice to attack those who are conservative. Now, as someone who's been part of one of those groups, I find it hilarious because I knew the group quite well. And okay, there were some folks that, might have been a little bit more fringe than me, but they weren't really that fringe. But the liberals having their mouthpieces and everything, we were painted as fringe, even though we weren't. Um, so let's listen to this 5 minute clip of Jim Jordan discussing this. Also, if you don't mind, hit like, subscribe, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Rumble. Here we go.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. O'Neill, who is the Southern Poverty Law Center?
Southern Poverty Law Center is a far-left radical activist group that routinely smears conservative and Christian organizations, putting them on a map with the Ku Klux Klan.
Well, first of all, does the Southern Poverty Law Center partner with the Open Society Foundation?
Yes, the Southern Poverty Law Center received 75 grand from foundation to promote Open Society.
And the Open Society Foundation gets money from the American taxpayer, is that right?
No, the Open Society Foundation does not. There was an arm of the Open Society Foundation that is now closed that received a large number. Yes.
It did get. Okay. And as you pointed out, the Southern Poverty Law Center labels a lot of conservative groups as hate groups.
Yes, right? Including Focus on the Family this year.
Focus on the Family, Alliance Defending Freedom, Family Research Council, Center
USA.
for Immigration Studies, Moms for Liberty. Moms are now a hate group?
Yes, they put Moms for Liberty on there. They actually said that they compared them to the Uptown Klan of the 1950s.
And you know what's interesting? I found this. We made an issue of this, and thank goodness it stopped with our new Justice Department. But in the old Justice Department under Mr. Biden, there was this. You may remember this memorandum put out by the Richmond FBI field office. You remember this, Mr. O'Neill? Yeah.
Yes.
And do you know when they talked about traditional Catholics were extremists? Do you know who they cited in the footnote in this? I got the actual FBI memorandum. You know who they cited in that memorandum?
The Southern Poverty Law Center.
The Southern Poverty Law Center. Go figure. Okay, how about this? Who's the Tides Foundation?
They're the oldest dark money pass-through organization. They pioneered the process that now Arabella Advisors has perfected.
And I think in your testimony I'm looking at, you said there's various, the Service Employees International Union gave money to a group that then gave money to the Tides Foundation. Is that true?
No, the SEIU gave directly to
they gave
Tides
directly.
Advocacy and the Tides Foundation, yes.
Yeah, and then I think also in your testimony you point out that the Tides Foundation not only got money from left-wing union groups, but they also got money directly from the taxpayers through USAID. Is that right?
Correct. It was $27 million.
$27 million.
It was awarded. Not all of those grants were fulfilled.
And what's the Tides Foundation up to? What kind of crazy things are they doing with taxpayer money and left-wing employee union money? What are they doing?
Bankrolling the Southern Poverty Law Center, for one. They also have an in-house nonprofit called Palestine Legal.
So Tides Foundation gets a boatload of taxpayer money. People I get the privilege of representing from the 4th District of Ohio, some of their money is going to the Tides Foundation. Then it's then going to the Southern Poverty Law Center, where they can label moms as terrorists and say that if you're a Catholic, you're an extremist. That all happens with American tax dollars. Is that right?
We don't have concrete proof of the fact of the Tide Center receiving money that they then gave to the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Money's fungible. We're not.
So your overall
here.
point is 100%.
Okay. So that's all happening here in the United States, but it's even worse, right? Because the Tides Foundation also gets involved, Mr. Gonzalez was pointing to this, gets involved overseas as well. And one of the things we know they're doing, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. O'Neill, that we know they're doing is they're taking some of that money to undermine our allies and friends like Prime Minister Netanyahu in the state of Israel. Is that right?
Well, one of the big things they have is an in-house nonprofit representing anti-Israel rioters on college campuses called Palestine Legal.
Yeah.
So yes.
So they're doing it here and there, undermining Israel here and there, anti-Semitic activity here on our campuses, all with American tax money. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And the other side says, again, Mr. Van Drew shouldn't be having this hearing. Are you kidding me? American tax dollars used to say, moms are terrorists, we're going to go after pro-life Catholics, and our best friend internationally, our best ally, the state of Israel, we're going to undermine their government while we're at it. Such a deal for the taxpayers, huh?
On the point from Ranking Member Raskin, he noted that George Soros does not have power. Alex Soros was asked if he would run for office, and he said that he would not because he believes that as head of the Open Society Foundations, he has more power than he ever would if he had any office in the land.
Well, based on what we just described, it sure looks like they got a lot of influence. And all we're saying is maybe we shouldn't send American tax dollars to these organizations that are undermining American taxpayers. Wow. And somehow we're not supposed to have this hearing. I yield back.
Will the gentleman yield just quickly? All I want to say, I didn't say he didn't have power. I said he did not have official governmental power. Thank you.
And we have all of that. Think about that for a minute. Whether you're conservative or liberal, do you really think that they should be going to groups like this? Now, SPLC started out to be a group, in all honesty, that I would have respected back in the day. Actually, I did respect them in the 80s and 90s. I knew about them. I didn't think of them as being radicalized because they weren't. And they started getting money. They started going down this radical path of calling every group that has any bit of conservatism as a hate group. This isn't a good thing for this country. You need to be able to have a bipartisan discussion on both sides, but that isn't what the left wants anymore. They want to squash any conservative thought process in this country. Conservatives don't want to do that for the left. There might be some of y'all and some conservative groups, but for the most part, classic liberalism isn't minded at all. Modern liberalism, yes, has some things in it that nobody wants, but we want their voices to be heard. Now, the radical left, which more and more of the Democrat Party is turning to, more and more of liberals are turning to, we're not necessarily wanting them squashed. We just want them to think about what they're trying to do because we oppose them. But you can allow someone to voice their opinions without trying to squash them and consider them hate groups. As much as I dislike Mandami up in New York City, I don't see him as someone that I want to see squashed. I just don't want to see him running New York City. Why? Because I want to go up there and enjoy cheesecake. There's the word I was looking for. Cheesecake from Junior's. I don't know if you've ever had Junior's cheesecake, but if you haven't in your life, you are missing out. I don't want to see that destroyed, but I see Mandami further eroding what is worth going to New York City for. But I don't want to see him squashed. I don't want to see him shut up. I want to see him voicing his opinion. Everybody's opinion needs to be done. And I'm pretty right wing. So, yeah, this needs to end. And my tax dollars do not need to be going towards that. Either way, though, this been. Oh, one quick thing. I going to keep pushing this until because I really do need the help. I have memberships here on YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube, if you're on Rumble or Facebook, I have a Linktree link in the description of this video, and I have a Patreon in there. I'm trying to raise $3,000. I could use help with that if y'all don't mind. It's $1 on Patreon, like $1.99 on YouTube. Just a little bit of help. That's all I'm asking for. But hitting like and subscribe will help me as well. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Well, hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.